I put my camera in front of this hive and then I went and looked at it frame by frame. You won't believe what I saw. You gotta see this. This is not a good sign. This is bad news, especially if you're a drone. This is crazy today. We're gonna actually take a look at the entrance of this hive, and when a drone comes out to go out on a mating flight, we're gonna grab him, we're gonna mark him, and we're gonna start the timer, see how long it takes him to go out on a mating flight and come back. But if he's successful and mates with a virgin queen, guess what happens? He dies, falls to the ground. Also, I'm gonna show you at the entrance, I'm gonna show you what a robber bee looks like. Now this is a robber bee that lives here. There's several of them, and they go out and rob other hives. And I'm gonna show you how to identify a robber bee coming back after it's been robbing somebody else's hive out. I'm sorry to admit that. We're also gonna be looking at different pollen coming into the hive on the backs of bees, and I'll show you what propolis looks like on the back of the legs of the honeybee. A lot of you are asking me questions if I have a queen cell. Is there still time for queens to be mated? I'm going to answer that question too. We're going to base it on what we're looking at in the entrance today, so you can take this same knowledge, look at your entrance, and make some of these awesome decisions. But what I want to show you most of all is that this time of the year, this is like 3 days before fall, and they're starting to push out some drones. Not all of them, but I want to show you today what that looks like when they're just like, okay, drones, we're not over and wintering with you guys. Off with your heads. As you can tell here, look at this. This worker bee right here in the circle is attacking this drone. See the difference between the two? This is what's going on in late summer, early fall. Drones are being pushed out of the hive by the workers. Look at this. This drone's trying to get away. The worker will not stop. Oh, they're gone. Now, let me pick up a drone here because I want to mark it. I want to see how long it takes to go on a mating flight. Marked it green and red. Let it go. And we'll just keep watching. Now, here's a drone down here that got attacked and hurt. Let me pick it up and see how injured it is. Maybe it'll be all right. Maybe it's just resting down there. No, I picked it up, I play with it, I try to move it, it won't fly. Workers have injured this drone, it's dying. That's unfortunate. That's just what bees do this late in the year. Now look at this, the drone is back. Christmas drone was out 29 minutes. That's about how long they have fuel for. And so it's making its way back into the hive. So let's keep an eye on it. Oh, workers attacking my Christmas drone. Oh, how rude. Oh man, that drone is trying to get back in the hive to get refueled to go out on a mating flight again. I call it a mating flight. But look at that, he's back in the hive. Whew. He was in there 7 minutes to get fueled, and then he came out. Look at that, he comes back out for another mating flight, attacked again. Leave the Christmas drone alone. Oh my gosh, this is what bees do this time of the year. It's late summer, fall. They don't want to overwinter with drones because it's too much of a food liability. They can raise more drones in the spring to mate with virgin queens. They're not raising queens anymore, so they just want to get rid of these drones to be conservative with their food. Look at that. Christmas drone, I watch him, he did get away. Look at that real dark bee in the front. Now that's a honeybee, but it was a bee that is very, very old. Now look at this bee right here. It's kind of shiny looking, kind of oily looking because it doesn't have hair. That guard bee stopped it. It may live here, but the guard bee was triggered by the appearance. You can see that again. You can see these bees that are hairless, these guard bees, like this guard bee right here. Let me point it out with my stick. You can see this guard bee is kind of nervous. Watch this guard bee as she walks around the entrance of the hive. She's just sniffing everybody for, identification of pheromone, making sure that everybody lives here. Look how she's just going around and checking everybody out. So they all have different tasks. Different guard bees have different tasks. And so this guard bee is just watching every bee. Now look at this bee here. Could be a robber, kind of hairless. Look at that. And so it's just walking around, but it gets in. So it could live. That could be, and there's another one. Look at that in the circle. Now guard bee does check that bee out right there. Do you see that? A couple of them checked it out, sniffed it. So it must live there because I watched it. And it does just go into the hive. So it may be robbing somebody else's hive. Here's a guard bee here up on all 6 legs. And watch her upper body and her head. She's checking out. She's visually watching every bee that comes in. You'll see her upper body and head move toward bees. See that, how she jerks toward a bee that comes in? And she's just making sure everybody that passes her little section over there passes TSA. See that, how she jerks? Even when one lands way off to the right, she moves her head over there to look at it. Keep watching her and just watch how she'll move her head. She sniffs, make sure pheromones are correct. Look at that. She jerked her head over there toward that bee. Now, look at these two colors here. They're different. One's kind of grayish, one's kind of orange. A lot of people worry that different bees from other hives are there. Color can be anything really with your bees. It just means they have a different color allele in the mix of the drone and the virgin queen. See the two different colors there? When they mate, they just mate with different drones and it creates different colors. They're all still your bees from one hive, but you'll see a lot of different colors around here in the entrance. Look at that. What was that? Did you see that? Look at that. That bee is walking out with something in its mouth. Look at that. That white thing. You know what that is? Probably part of a pupae that they're destroying or tearing down. Look at the color on the back of that bee right there. It's pollen. Look at the pollen going in the back legs. You see all the bright red pollen going in? That's what it looks like from goldenrod. That's amazing. Now this is unusual right here. Take a look at that. Did you see it? A bee comes out with pollen on her back legs. Now watch this green bug and this guard bee. The green bug is kind of chased away. Look at this guard bee, grabs it. Oh man, she's got it. Now she's got it in her legs and she's gonna get a good grip on it and fly away with it, drop it off somewhere else. Now what's going on here? Look at that. There we are again, a bee coming out with pollen on her back legs, leaving the hive, feeding another bee. That bee is feeding the bee coming out with pollen on her back legs. I've never seen that. Blows my mind. I don't know what it means. Now look at this. A bee lands with something on its back leg. Look at that. What in the world is that? Do you see that? Let me zoom in a little closer and you can kind of see it more carefully, but look at that. What is that? You see it attached right there? It's like a string? No, that's stretched out propolis. The bee was gathering propolis, and you know how it is when your hive, when you open a hive and you can, that propolis on a hot day is kind of gooey. That's exactly, see right there in the circle? That's just a long strand of propolis that got stretched out as she pulled away from wherever she was getting it maybe, and it's just got stretched off her leg like that. Now she goes in with it. Now this is what propolis normally looks like on a bee coming in for a landing. See, it's more shiny, sometimes it's more red like that. It's not pollen, that's more glistening and shiny propolis. It's real sticky. Bees have to take that off of their legs when they get in there. Wow, does that smell like goldenrod. So a lot of you are wondering if you can still raise queens this time of the year. Either you want to raise your queens yourself or you want this hive to raise a queen because maybe a queen failed, they have queen cells, and you're wondering, biting your nails, can they do it? Is there enough time? What we're learning from the entrance is what gives you the answer. If they still have drones flying in and out, that means that there are still drones in drone congregation areas around you, and that there's a likelihood that even though your queen's going to fly further than the drones here, those drone congregation areas are still out there for your queen to go and be mated. Now, if you go to your hive and all of your drones are being pushed out, none of them are flying in and out anymore, they're all dead on the ground in front of your hive, there's not a chance that your queen's going to be mated. It's not going to happen. So that's an indication on if drones are still going in and out that your queen can get mated. But if they're not going to happen. You've probably figured out that I'm all about beekeeping education. I've got online courses, and Sherry and I wrote this book, Backyard Beekeeping, Everything You Need to Know to Start Your First Hive. Check it out. If you order from our website, you get an autographed copy from us. The online course link is right here. I hope you'll take advantage of these courses to help you become a better beekeeper. I appreciate you guys leaving comments. The best way to get your question answered, however, is on my live stream every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Here's the link. Be sure and join me 7 p.m. Central Time every Thursday. How many beekeeping content creators on YouTube have a bobblehead? I know of one, and Bobblehead David wants you guys to subscribe. David Bobblehead is scared to death in front of this hive because he doesn't have a hat and veil. Could somebody out there please make Bobblehead David a hat and veil? And please subscribe while you're at it. He needs to bobble more. Ooh!